All right, now we got official news about how Tory Lanez is feeling after his 10-year sentence, and it's not really good. So make sure y'all like the video and subscribe. Let's get into this right now. So TMZ basically got an exclusive at 1 a.m. in the morning, okay? So I'm getting this to y'all as soon as possible, so let's just get straight into it. It says, Tory Lanez is starting to feel the gravity of his 10-year prison sentence after believing the system would do right by him. He's now turning to God for strength, all right? And unfortunately, at this point, he has no choice but to do that, right? You get sentenced to 10 years. I also think that's why Tory took the stand and apologized, because he was hoping that the judge would show some type of mercy, all right? And we can go through a list of things that might have led to him getting this 10 years, but let's continue. Tory's defense attorney, Jose Baez, tells TMZ his client is feeling pretty low right now after having the book thrown at him. We're told Tory is having a hard time processing the sentence, but Baez also says despite that, Tory made it clear to him he's going to remain strong and deal with his time behind bars as best as he can. Now, you heard what he said. The lawyer said Tory is feeling pretty low right now. And of course, that's understandable. He just got 10 years. And when they say that Tory is going to try to make best of his time behind bars, remember, all of these people who spoke on behalf of Tory, it was people who worked in a jail as well. And even in Iggy Azalea's letter that I read out in a prior video, I think I just put that out, she talked about Tory holding like some type of prayer session every morning. So he's been in jail apparently trying to do the right thing, praying, trying to help his other inmates. He's not causing a ruckus in there. And, I'm going to tell you something. When you're in jail and you're given that type of energy, your time will be easy. I'm not going to say it'll be quick, but I think when you have that type of energy, people don't try to bother you. They know you have positive vibes. Especially when you a celebrity and you willing to listen and maybe help people. I think if that's how Tory is really giving it up, he'll be safe at least, all right? Because I know it was a lot of talk about what jail is he going to, but let's continue. Jose says Tory is leaning on his faith in God, the support of his friends and family, and the indignation his supporters around the world are expressing, many of whom are loudly lamenting the stiff punishment. Now, I want y'all to know I was popping in a few Twitter spaces, and there was people all over the world who were upset about this sentencing. And I'm not just trying to say that because, I got this overwhelming support for Tory. It's just a fact. I'm hearing people from London, Africa, Dubai, the Emiratis. You know what I mean? Like, I was really shocked that it was really people around the world who were paying attention to this case. And don't get it twisted, it's people all around the world who are in support of Megan Thee Stallion as well. But I was just still shocked that people in the UK, in Africa, like, this was a big case. And people have their own opinions. People feel like, Meg was lying. Some people probably feel like, well, I'm not even probably, a lot of people out of the country feel like Tory did it, okay? So I'm just really shocked that this case has been just this big and even made it out of the country. But let's continue. Baez says Tory was hoping the judge would show mercy, especially when the number of people who went to bat for him in court, including some celebs. We're told the reason there's so much outcry for Tory is because he's genuinely loved in the community and he's done a lot to give back over the years. Okay, I appreciate TMZ, sharing this sentiment, because that's basically what was going on during the sentencing. They were basically saying Tory Lanez is an angel. He does so much for people. It was one story that said it was a lady who had an issue with her son's health, and Tory Lanez was paying her rent for like years because, you know, he had a big heart about her son having a disorder. Okay. So it was a lot of stories like that about Tory. And I know some people, if you with Megan Thee Stallion, you'll be like, well, I don't believe it. But I will say this. If all of that is true, Tory Lanez is a different type of celebrity, because it seemed to me that they were basically trying to say that he's giving away a lot of his money to charity. Now, I think that's up for interpretation, whether you believe that or not. But I'm just saying, if it's true, hopefully after he does his time, he will continue to do stuff like that. All right. Years. In the meantime, Bays insists an appeal is coming. So that's what's next. Tory is going to try to do another appeal. One last thing. We asked Bays how Tory plans to navigate fatherhood with his young son, but the attorney wouldn't comment. He also addressed the prospect of deportation that Tory faces, but told us there were other priorities ahead of that, namely the appeal. Now, if y'all don't know, Tory's son also wrote a letter to the judge, and that was probably really heartfelt as well. But that's what's going on with Tory after the sentencing, all right? You're not going to hear from him, I would assume, for a very long time. I think during or before the sentencing, we saw these things where Tory was putting out audio messages and stuff like that. I don't think we'll see any of that for a very long time. And I heard that the appeal might take about 2 years. A lot of people saying for sure before an appeal, he's going to have to sit. Also, people are saying he's going to have to do 85% of that time. Now, he already has about 15 to 18 months served already, so that will count towards the 10 years. But 85% of that 10 years. Now, you know, it would have been staggering if Tory got probation. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. I thought he would at least get 5 to 7. I didn't think he would get 10 to 13. Because to me, if you give him 10, I guess the judge was saying, well, if y'all don't know, he was facing 13 years. But by giving him 10, I guess the judge was like, well, all of the stuff y'all came in here and did, that'll get him off for 3 years. Like, it was like all of that stuff, I'll take 3 years off of it. But to me, I'm like, well, you gave him 10, you know, it's almost like you gave him 13. Let's be honest. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.